On top of Ayin Gimel Amid Aleph, that's Taf Ayin Gimel Amid Aleph, the second word on the page, Aval HaShechina. We have a mashal. We're having a discussion, that has a mashal and an imshal. The mashal is that the whole neshama comes into the brain, but not the whole neshama is revealed, right? The whole neshama comes into the brain. The whole neshama comes into the brain. The whole neshama. But only a small percentage of the neshama, the brain distributes to the guf, each Eivet according to how much it can handle. But the Iyar neshama is in the brain, and the Iyar neshama which is in the brain doesn't come into the body, and it's lav dafka, even the brain itself knows the atzmus of the neshama which is inside of it. The nimshal is that the creation has something called muhus v'atzmas seidin tzayvah. Muhus v'atzmas seidin tzayvah is available in the creation of the brain of the creation. What's the brain of the creation? Teira mitzvahs. You'll see later, the beginning of Nun Gimel, that the rabbis get add noch a chiddush. That in addition to the idea that Teira mitzvah, the brain of the creation, there's a higher brain, that's the luchas. And the chiluk between the luchas being a brain and the Teira being a brain is that the Teira is a brain, each world has a different brain, a different Teira. Luchas is one brain for the whole Seder Shtashis. The whole Ein Sof is in the Teira. Now, the Teira distributes chayis to all the creations of the different worlds. The Elamis, the Sfiris, the Neshamis, the Malachim, the Teiris of the various Madregas, Kabbalah, Talmud, Mishnah, Mikra, according to how much they could take. But the whole Ein Sof is in the brain. So there's two Nekudas here. The first Nekudah is one we learned already. And the whole Ein Sof is in the Teira. In other words, you learn Teira, you're connected to the whole Ein Sof. But there's another Nekudah. That is that because of the Teira, the Ein Sof is concealed. Concealed means it's available to us in this world, but not in a way that destroys us. So you'll think there's two Nekudas. Teira is the brain that houses what's called Mahus V'Yatzmas Ein Sof. The whole Ein Sof. The Rebbe had 6 names for it yesterday. Alma Des Galia. By the way, he calls this Alma Des Galia because the Luchas is Alma Des Kasi. There's 2 Madregas of brain. Teira is the brain. The Luchas is Alma Des Kasi. As you'll see in the beginning of Perek Gan, Nun Gimel. Alma Des Galia, Matronisa, Eimatato, Shechina. And then later on he calls it Eima Bonim and Kensel, 6 different labels for the brain, the center of each world, which is the Teira and the mitzvahs, where the whole Lakus is there, and from there this chayas distributed to each individual creation, each individual world, how much it could take. But the presence of the Ein Sof in the Teira as the brain of the creation has 2 aspects. Number 1, through the Teira you have a shachas to the Ein Sof. Number 2, the Teira hides the Ein Sof. Not that it's not there, but that it shouldn't destroy you. It's a second Nakud. So the Rabbi Aval HaShechina Atzma, but the Shechina itself, the brain itself, Shehi Reishis HaGilui, which is the beginning of Gilui. The Mashmos, by the way, is, he calls it Reishis HaGal Ein Sof, what you have in the beginning of Bossi Lagani. And the Rebbe said, the Rebbe said that this goes on Malchus de Ein Sof. Reishis HaGal Ein Sof is not Malchus of Atil, it's Malchus de Ein Sof, that's the brain. And this is called Alma Des Galia. So the Luchas, which is Alma Des Kasya, which is Eimei Law, Bina, is higher than his Galus of Ein Sof. The whole of the Ein Sof is available to the world in a way of Gilui. Now the word Gilui here is deceptive, because usually Gilui means you get it. Here Gilui doesn't mean you get it. Gilui means it's here completely. But it's hidden in the Teira, as you'll see in a moment. If the whole Ein Sof is Gilui, you ain't. It's that simple. In other words, it's Begilui in the Teira. And you're getting from the Gilui in the Teira a tiny piece. You understand? So he uses the word Gilui. The only way I understand it is because since later he's going to speak about Luchas. And that Luchas is a higher Madrega, which is called Helam. He called this Gilui. But it's not the Pshat Gilui you have it. Gilui, it's here. The Himakar, and it's the root of Kol, Amshachas, Achayis, all the bringing down of life, Shavachol HaElam, it's all of the world. Shekol HaChayis Shebehem, all of the life that sustains the worlds and the different creations in the world and so forth and so on, like the limbs of a body. Ein Yerak is only Eira Mispashet Mimena, a light which is expanding from the Shechina itself, which is hidden in the Teira. Ke'eira Mispashet Me'ashamesh, light coming out of the sun. But the vart is, even though we're only getting like light that's coming out of the sun, the whole sun is here too, in the Teira. And the Mocker, what's called Mahus V'Yatmas Ein Sof, which is Begili in the Teira, Ef Shel Elam Es Lizbel, the world cannot tolerate it. Or L'Kabel Shechina, so to receive the light of this Shechina, Shetishkin, that it should rest, which it is lavish, and it should be revealed. B'taychem inside of themselves, Mamish, because if the world would experience Mahus V'Atmas Ein Sof, they would plot. Belai, unless there is lavush, a garment, which is hiding and blocking its light, mehem, from the creation. They shouldn't lose their form altogether, because they're experiencing the potency of the light which is in their source. A bit like the nullification of Iyar Hashemesh b'Mekeda, the light of the sun inside the sun, Beguf Hashemesh, in the body of the sun itself. That, of course, in the sun itself, you don't see the light in the sun at all. Rak, only etzem gufa shemesh bavad, the essence of the body of the sun alone. In other words, if you were in the sun, you wouldn't say that light is anything. If we experienced this Shechina, we would be nothing. Simple. Unless the Shechina could be here, we could experience Shechina, but somehow there's a lavush which is affecting that. On the one hand, we have the whole Shechina. On the other hand, there's a hest and helam on the Shechina, so we should have it, it shouldn't destroy us. And the answer to both of those questions is the same answer, Teda. And I want you to know that this particular Tanya that we have here is Givaldik Ba'arichis and Iyar Sakedesh Chavtes. In Simon Chavtes, I'll speaks Ba'arichis, what's the meaning of mitzvahs? Officially, that's in Iyar Sakedesh about the mile of halacha, of other Chelkei HaTeira. And he says that Ein Sof, the mashal of Ein Sof is Tainug. And to bring Tainug into this world, you have to have a lavush. So he says, what's the madrega chi achreina of Tainug? He says, Ratzon. So the Eibush takes his atmas of Tainug and hides them in Ratzon. What does that mean? All you know is Hashem said put on tzitzis. Hashem said put on tefillin. The Tainug which is in the tzitzis and the Tainug which is in tefillin is hidden by the commandment. So there's two things here. The Ratzon of the mitzvah hides over the Ein Sof. But on the other hand, it's delivering the whole Ein Sof to you in a way that you could get it. But over there, it's 6 amudim. Over here, it's 6 lines. You guys, the Kedesh Chavtes has gone long. Yeah, it's 296, 297, 298, 299, and 300, and 301. And here, it's a few shortest, but it's all been a kudah. If I'm not mistaken, the Rebbe's Rishimis is Metzayin today. What garment could facilitate both of these requirements? That is delivering the Ein Sof, which is called, ready again? Alma Dizgalye, Maternitza, Emetato, Shechina, Emabonim, and Kansas Yisrael. So that it's here. On the other hand, it's not blowing us up. That can conceal of it and reveal it. That on the one hand, we should have it. And on the other hand, we should be nullified in its form, in our form, because of the potency of this light. So the Rebbe Huda Tzeine is Barach. The will of the Eibishter means mitzvahs. And all we have is the commandment and not the richness, not the oinig of the commandment. Which is the Teda. Ratzah means mitzvahs and Chachma means Teda. Hamalu Bashim, which are manifest, B'Tedo mitzvah niglafan olvanenu. In the Teda, mitzvahs that's revealed to us. In other words, B'Feidish nigla the Teda, halacha, we don't mean Kabbalah, we don't mean Seid. The mitzvahs are the Ratzah Lavush of this Ein Sof. The Chochma of Nigla the Teda is the Chochma Lavush of this Ein Sof. That it delivers it to us on the one hand, and it affects that we should have it without it destroying us on the other. The Eraisam and Chochma Nafkis, Teda comes from Chochma. He Chochma Ilad is a Chochma of Atzilos, the Le'ela Alma Dizgalia, which is much higher than Alma Dizgalia. Alma Dizgalia is Malchus, and Malchus in each world. Chochma is the source of Teda, and it's mislavish, it conceals over the Shechina which is in Malchus. The Hashem's Chochma is beyond comprehension. Was discussed earlier, and earlier, but Pashtus means Perek Lametein da Hagor. The infinite light of the Eibush. You also have it in Tanya Perek Beis. And we had it more recently in Sof Perek Memtes, the same order actually. No, it's another order, Sof Perek Memches. That Chochma is one with Ein Sof. She'eid Ein Sof, the infinite light of the Eibush, the Melubash and Meyuchad is revealed and unified. The Chochma Allah. Who Yisbarach v'Chachmas Yechad Hashem and His Chochma are one. This is Teda. The whole Eibush is in Chochma, that's Teda, and the whole Eibush is in Otznis Mitzvahs. Rak, it's only, like it says in Tanya Perek Dalet, Sheyarda descends, B'seis Ram Madregi through the secret mysteries of steps. In Madrega from step to step, Ishtalshas Elam was in the chain reaction of worlds. Achin Eslapsh till it reveals itself. Bidvarim Gashmi, physical things, Shein Tayag Mitzvahs, with the 613 commandments, a Teda of the Teda. And remember the Mashal that the Rebbe says. It's like Mayim, that a Yeh, the Makavel, Makam Nomach. Says the Rebbe, what's the Mashal of Mayim? That is the same exact thing. It doesn't say K'may Seichel. Hanimshich Meseichel Harav L'Talmud. Or K'may Seichel. Hamislabish B'midis. Maim. The same water on top of the mountain is in the bottom of the mountain. In fact, the Rebbe says even more. When the water descends from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, it's no longer on top of the mountain. You should know that the Torah we have, notwithstanding that it's hiding the Ein Sof, it's the same Ein Sof. So you must appreciate this shtickele, that the Alter Rebbe is not just saying that the whole Ein Sof is found in Torah. He's saying the whole Ein Sof is found in Torah. On the one hand, it's revealed. On the other hand, it's in such a way that it's not destroying. You got it.